whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today, but if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on do our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel gboot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace. I'm attorney Gavin. Check out my latest book, The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in America. For approximately 2 years now, I have gone on a painstaking quest to investigate the rise and fall of an American icon, Bill Cosby. In the mid-1980s, there was not a star that was higher than Cosby. Advertisements with Coca-Cola, Jello, Kodak, along with the #1 television show for 5 straight years in a row. On Thursday nights, it was must-see TV on NBC. Cosby resurrected the genre of the traditional family sitcom that was once thought dead by television critics. He did this as a Black American with an all-Black cast and showed mainstream network executives in white America that it was possible to be successful without showing the worst in people. He also demonstrated the power that television had, as it can make younger people dream to be the best that they can be. However, like many celebrity stars, unfortunately, they all come crashing down, sometimes by their own fault, others not so much. In this book, I attempted to highlight certain things. We go in depth into both of his trials in 2017 and 2018, respectively. What if I told you that these criminal trials were politically motivated by an overzealous district attorney? Will you also be shocked to learn the attacks on Mr. Cosby did not start in 2014, but also in the 90s, not long after his attempted quest to purchase a major network? From where did all of these allegations of sexual misconduct come from? Were the accusers telling the truth? In the 2 years of research, with some help from others interested in learning the truth and facts about this case, we discussed both the legal reasons why his prosecution and trial were illegal, unwarranted, and also the possible personal motives as to why this may have occurred. Most importantly, we warn about the dangers of prejudice and why trial by social media, or mainstream media rather, should never be the norm. All this and more in The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in America. Available on Amazon this fall in Kindle and paperback format. It is not available this fall. It is actually available for pre-order right now. That's right. The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in the United States is available for pre-order on Kindle right now as we speak, ladies and gentlemen. Please go to the Amazon page now and order your copy of The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., authored by yours truly, Gavin Richard. Ladies and gentlemen, hello everyone in the chat, whoever you are, wherever you are. I hope you're blessed and doing safe and you can hear me. I'm feeling a little bit better than what I was earlier this week. I'm getting there, but I want to thank you all for tuning in. We got Darius from Atlanta, Danielle Meyer, Bookie the Realist out here. Thank you all for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. The place to be is right here with me. It is Random Topic Sundays, only on channel GBoo2786 and on Facebook on Gavin Richard and on Twitter via GavinRich2786. We shall discuss the following, ladies and gentlemen. Gloria Allred tries to get Andrew Wyatt removed from the courtroom. One of our topics. Detroit homeowner kills would-be intruder. And Biden signs a reparations bill on behalf of New Mexican miners under the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act. So we have all this and more to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. I need you to hit that like, share, and subscribe button if you have not done so already as well. Since YouTube has not demonetized this channel, I ask that you all, if you could, donate to the links at the bottom, to the Cash App, to the PayPal and Zelle, to contribute to tonight's broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. If you have not also, one other way to support me is to order some good old-fashioned Creole seasoning. It's called Nawny'sCreoleBlends.com. Ladies and gentlemen, try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nawny's goes great with every dish. As you saw earlier about the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., I stated the book is ready, but you could also go and subscribe to the Facebook page for news and events. We'll eventually have a release party online, I believe, Wednesday when the book is officially released. I'm gonna try and do one for everybody, and hopefully I'm healed up by then, which I think I will be. But subscribe to the Facebook page, ladies and gentlemen. That's the easiest way to support and get updates about it. But the book is available on Amazon for pre-order right now. Also, ladies and gentlemen, as I stated earlier, you can get some Creole seasoning blends. Go to Nawny'sCreoleBlends.com. Try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nawny's goes great with every dish. Also, you can download Video Soul on iTunes and Amazon, as well as getting on iTunes. Our theme song has always got to get on up. So before we get on down with our topics, let's go on ahead and get on up, shall we? So
girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat, cause on the dance floor is where we'll be. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the body moving, gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Now, 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe and you achieve. And so, if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll feel the groove. Get on the floor. Get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the floor, baby. Gotta get on up. Come on, baby, gotta get on up, baby. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
All right, feel the groove, get on the floor, ladies and gentlemen. Got to get on up. Welcome everybody to another edition of Gavin Richard Presents Random Topic Sundays. I'm getting a little bit better, guys. I still don't want to come on screen at this time, so I'm doing it the old Jason Black way as I'm reporting to you all. I'm sure all of you can hear me since I'm seeing the speaker volume go up. We're not going to waste too much time tonight. First and foremost, everybody in the chat, everybody that can hear me, I want you to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. I want you to share this broadcast. But most importantly, I want to hear in your comments, see in your comments how you doing, how you at, where you at. Darius from Atlanta, Danielle Meyer, all of you all who are here. Bookie, how things in your neck of the woods? That's what I want to know. How things going in your neck of the woods right now? Before we get started. Bookie says it's going okay. That's all. That's everybody. Just Bookie. Bookie says he just got over the virus. Yeah, that's going around a lot everywhere. That's going a lot everywhere. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Yeah, it is. It's gotten real bad now. I don't think they're gonna shut anything down because first off, it's gonna make first and foremost, I don't think the country can afford another shutdown. That's the one thing. People are not gonna take the economy, especially the way the economy is built with our inflation at the way it is. If they did that and shut it down, then nobody would be able. I think nobody would be able to pay their rent. Nobody would afford. They wouldn't even afford to put a moratorium on it. The other thing is, although it might bring some of the gas prices down, because then people who are not there's no necessities. Obviously, if you're not a essential worker, most people would be staying home. Maybe it might bring gas prices down. I think people can avoid. They should avoid going to gas. The way to bring the gas prices down is avoid going out to certain places right now. And if you can avoid certain places, like Brother Phil Scott was saying, going to restaurants too often, or going to places of entertainment that you don't have to go to, that might bring some of these prices down on gas. I think that's very true, because it's the only way you're going to set an example. You just had a politician who, I believe, even Biden said this with the price of gas, but someone else was saying, I don't know who the senator's name was, but she said with gas prices up, well, it's time to start buying an electric car. I think it was, Democratic Senator Debbie Stabenow's office, where she said, uh, she made the remark during a Senate Finance Committee hearing. Senator Stabenow remarked that she went by every single gas station. It didn't matter how high the gas price was. I'm looking forward to the opportunity for us to move to vehicles that aren't going to be dependent on the whims of the oil companies and the international markets. Kyle Smith, a critic for National Review, tweeted, "Let them buy Teslas," in response to the video. Pennsylvania Republican Representative Mike Kelly tweeted that Senator Stabenow says she drove her electric vehicle past every gas station, and it didn't matter how to her how high the gas price was. Senator Stabenow's office responded to furor on Wednesday in a statement to The Independent that chastised critics and clarified that the Congresswoman drives a Chevy Bolt EUV. It is listed with a starting price of $33,500. Instead of helping the oil companies line their pockets with Michigan drivers' hard-earned money, these critics should join the senator's fight to end price gouging at the pump. Well, shit. What are you doing to end price gouging at the pump? OPEC is the one who determines the prices. What demands have you made from them? We have laws already against price gouging, but apparently uh, they're not being enforced. Yeah, gas. I'm telling you, gas is so high. They're gonna bring back horse and buggy one day. You're gonna see brothers. You're gonna see brothers riding carriages down in Atlanta and New Orleans. I'm not talking about a carriage cab. You're gonna be going to the club with a horse and buggy. That's just how bad it is. And here's my problem, nobody really said anything when Bush was president and you had the vice president Cheney, who was the former chairman of Halliburton, which was one of the richest oil companies in the nation. We're going into Iraq, we're going into Afghanistan, and around that area is the Strait of Hormuz, where a large vast of the world's oil supply is. And we didn't do anything about them. There was a conflict of interest. Remember, we were paying $3, $2 for at the pumps for gas when he was president. I'm gonna put some 22s on your wagon, yeah. Put some spinners on mine. But at any rate, y'all, uh, yeah, it's just gotten so ridiculous. Speaking of government, let's start with this story. So this is some big news that came out. Now, this where is it? I just had it. Okay, sorry. All right. So, speaking of government and Biden, now this past week, of course, they've had the January 6th committee that released their findings to the public on this past Friday or Thursday, I should say. They had that primetime special where it was watched, reported over 20, at least 20 million viewers watched it. Now, a lot of that, guys, you all know this, it's a nothing burger because number one, Donald Trump is not the president anymore. The people who have actually, who were part of that, were either sentenced already or got slaps on the wrist. Some of them only got 2, 3 years, which, if they do good time, probably will end up doing 18 months. We already knew what happened. So what's going on and why they're doing that, bear in mind, is that we have elections coming up this year. The Democrats want, obviously, to maintain control of both the House and Senate, although they have some problems in the Senate. And they know that a bloodbath is going to occur this November. And earlier this past Thursday, the Biden administration signed into law this Nuclear Downwind Reparations Act for New Mexican miners. Now, if you go here to this article, it states here, this is on Yahoo News. I have one from USN I'm going to show you, and one from uh, Yahoo News. It's called the Nuclear Downwinder Reparations. So what's happened, just under the Exposure Compensation Act, which was passed a little bit more than 2 years ago, uh, what happened is that, and you probably are familiar, ladies and gentlemen, obviously, in towns and country, out in the deserts, like in New Mexico and Arizona, where the United States government used to test nuclear weapons. And they did it out in the desert because of the isolation from the populations and so forth. Well, unfortunately, in nearby communities, the effects of the radiation was felt even there. And some people who have been stricken with cancers, other health problems due to the impacts of radiation. So they call them the downwinders. So what happened is that, and this was in the 1940s and 50s when they were doing all this stuff. So more than 2 years ago, and by he I mean the representative of New Mexico, two senators, one named Senator Ben Ray Lujan, and he's the Senator Ben Ray Lujan, who's the senator out of New Mexico, a Democratic senator. He co-sponsored a bill called the Radiation Exposures Compensation Act, and it was signed in the House earlier this year, and it was passed in the House earlier this year. It went to Biden's desk actually a couple of days ago, to where he added a new addendum to it, which would provide federal funds to help with medical bills for New Mexican uranium miners contaminated by radiation for an additional 2 years, also allowing more time for those living around the Trinity site near Alamogordo to advocate that they also be included in these reparations. So they were given an extension on top of an extension in which to claim this, and they're giving additional funds to help with their medical bills. According to the reports, now I'm going to switch to, so the town that we're talking about is Carrizalo, New Mexico. Those are one of the towns, and that's under the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act. And if you read further on Yahoo News, here, I'm going to show this to you all. This article, you can look this up. Those impacted by radiation exposure from federal operations can continue to receive cash payments up to $100,000 for uranium miners and other associated workers, $75,000 to workers on site during nuclear weapons testing, and an additional $50,000 for those living in communities downwind of the Nevada test site. The downwinders presently included in the funding were Utah, Nevada, Arizona, impacted by weapons testing in 1951, the Manhattan Project, which was in 1945 the first nuclear weapons in the United States. They were tested at Trinity site in south central New Mexico, but no New Mexicans living downwind of the site were included in the RICA payments. Advocates from the state and those living in nearby rural communities like Carrizozo, I said Carazano, Carrizozo, excuse me, long argued that they should be eligible for reparations, as many said their families suffered from myriad cancers and other health problems associated with the Trinity site. So that's Biden with Senator Lujan or Lujan. They don't pronounce. I'm sure they don't pronounce it how we do here. We would say in Louisiana, Lujan could be his. But Lujan said upon signing of the extension that it would provide more time to right what he called an injustice against his constituents. Since being sworn in as a senator, it has been a top priority to ensure that this critical program does not expire. With the president's signature, we avoided that injustice, but the fight is not over. The federal government must do right by all Americans whose lives were impacted by radiation exposure in the national defense effort, and I will continue working to expand this program to include all affected downwinders and post 1971 uranium mine workers. So this one woman, her name is Tina Cordova. Her father, Anastasio Cordova, lived in Albuquerque. Believed he had died in 2013 as a result of testing from the Trinity test site in New Mexico, since he lived in nearby Tularosa, New Mexico as a child. So she fought for this, a strengthened RICA program. And I'm saying, and this is what DeJean is saying further. He says a strengthened RICA program would deliver long overdue justice for families in New Mexico and across the nation who know the pain and sorrow caused by radiation exposure. Well, I'm glad the senator and Miss Cordova are fighting for theirs. Now let's fight for ours. Now I want you to look at this. I want to bring something up, but this was co-sponsored by Lujan and U.S. Representative Teresa Leger Fernandez. The bill was read in the Senate committee on September 22nd of last year. No action was done. And the House version passed the Judiciary Committee 25 to 8 by a 25 to 8 vote this past December. Now, I'm bringing this up. Let me bring this up too. Now, this picture is graphic, but I want to show you this story. Since you're talking about radiation, we're talking about doing what's right. We're talking about reparations. I want to show you this story. Now, this came from out of Indiana. Now, this is an old story, but This is a story about, and it's graphic, a gentleman by the name of Vertus Hardeman. And this is his picture here. And as a 5-year-old, he and several other black children out in Indiana, Lyle Station Elementary, were deceived by the local county hospital to take part in radiation experiments. Vertus' parents, as well as the other black parents, were told that their children were going to be part of a study that helped to cure ringworm scalp infections. And sadly, they ended up being part of the testing of radiation and its effect on the human mind and body. The Black Youth Project there, I believe, is the group that actually broke this story here. It's on their website. I believe they were doing a reality show on this. But this, of course, wasn't necessarily sponsored. I know people say it's not the federal government that did this. No, it is not the federal government that did this. This was the local authorities out in Indiana. However, it is one part of it is just one of many examples of what happened to black people in this country at the hands of their local, state, and federal governments. And we know from Tuskegee what took place. How they used black men to test the long-standing effects of untreated syphilis. We know from Henrietta Lacks, the woman whose cells have been used to treat cancer and make advancements in the medical field. Yet her family has received no compensation. Now, I have no problem with other people getting theirs in this case. They have every right out in New Mexico, if they've been wronged, which they have, to get reparations. But you cannot tell me, ladies and gentlemen, that it is not hard for the United States government, if they want to and they were interested in passing reparations for black Americans, that they could do so. Oh, how we're going to tell? You have ways you can tell. It's called the census. The census is done every 10 years. Go back to the 1870 census. You can see exactly who was slaves and who was not. Go back from that time. Every other group, the point being with all of this, when they want to put their minds to doing something, they can. Every other group somehow has benefited under this administration. He has willfully and knowingly ignored the black community, other than the trot. Kamala Harris out talking about how she had some green beans getting from North Carolina, coming out there to endorse Joe Clyburn. Did y'all see that? It's just pandering shit. Bragged about eating collard greens. Let me play it.
And I was there with Jay Moore and Charlemagne the God. And
Leonard.
And I was about to head out of town.
She was
to
there
meet
with
my
Leonard.
family, and cook for Thanksgiving. I won't mention where I was going, but where I was going, I knew I was not going to be able to find the kind of greens there that I could get here. And so, yes, that was me in my suit and heels, walking through Charleston International Airport, carrying 2 big plastic bags full of fresh South Carolina collard greens.
That goes to high
The true story. And yes, as I walked on the plane, there were a few people who gave me the look, and the nod.
Only if she said she had a sweet tea and some hot sauce in her bag would this have been complete. The pandering would have been full circle. But hey, this was better than Trump. But that's all I have on this particular topic. But what say you all? Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. I want to talk about this next story. This is out of Detroit. A Detroit homeowner who killed a would-be intruder. Now, I don't know if you guys know, you probably do know this guy, Michael Moore, the director of Fahrenheit 9/11 and also Bowling for Columbine. He said the most bullshit thing about the Second Amendment. Now, I'm bringing this all up. Now, he's from Michigan. Excuse me. He's from Michigan. Hold on a second. Excuse me, y'all. He urges the United States to repeal the Second Amendment. He says, quote, get dogs, not guns. He says, I know that there are Democratic Party leaders that do not want me saying this. I make no apologies for it because I understand the history of this country and I don't think we should be afraid to say this. Repeal the Second Amendment. Repeal the Second Amendment. You don't need a gun, more added. If you're afraid of somebody breaking in, get a dog. Well, sometimes some dogs are cowards. And I love my dog. They'll shoot the dog. I love my dogs even more sometimes than people. He continued to say that the Second Amendment doesn't really apply to modern times and dogs can be used for protection rather than guns. He believes Democrats are too afraid to go all the way to stop this madness. There were no guns back then, not the way we know them now. He's referring to 1787 when the Constitution was written. They had these muskets, these kind of rifles that didn't have bullets because the bullet had not yet been invented. So they had musket balls. That's all they knew then, that and cannons. Okay, let me stop this crap right now. A musket is still a rifle. First and foremost, if you go back through history, when they discovered gunpowder, obviously in Asia, where it was common, what you see out in China and so forth. At either rate, and that was in the 9th century, at least when gunpowder was discovered. Now, I've said before and I said it again, the reason why, and say what you want about the founding fathers of this country, yes, they were racist. Yes, they were hypocrites. Be that as it may, they did get some things right. And when you look at the Bill of Rights, when you understand the Constitution, your First Amendment rights, the rights to freedom of speech, the rights to believe what you want, the right to obviously be free of searches and seizures under the Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination, All of those things still apply to this day, and they were in 1787. And I don't think if Michael Moore got in trouble, let's be real, if he got in trouble and was accused of stealing all the sandwiches out of Subway in Michigan, which I'm inclined to believe he could do, he wouldn't as he's talking about repealing the Second Amendment, want his Fourth Amendment rights to be repealed, or his Fifth Amendment rights where he would be compelled to incriminate himself or subject to searches and seizures that he would find unreasonable. Now, of course, yes, they're doing that now. There are exceptions to it, and the courts have certainly been the courts have taken away and peeled away at our rights from time to time with certain cases. But there's a reason why we have a Second Amendment, and it has nothing to do with hunting. It has nothing to do with sport. It is there as a doomsday provision. It is there to protect us from tyrannical forces in government. You just think for a second. You don't think that the people who were killed up in Aurora, Colorado during that movie theater shooting, that some of them wish they didn't have a firearm to protect themselves? Your solution is not to disarm the criminal, you're disarming the victim. Because criminals are not going to listen to these laws that are being passed. They're still going to get the guns off the black market the same way they're getting the drugs. And Michael Moore and all of these other celebrities, I'm telling you, they want your guns because they know that you can't defend yourselves once you take that away. And don't listen to all this shit about, well, Biden, well, you just need a tank, man. Like Biden talking about, well, if you're worried about the government, you could have a tank or something like that, man. So why are you so good? If our weapons are inferior to it, then why are you fighting to get it? Just whenever they say that they're not for disarmament and they want to actually just help the people and stop mass shootings, no. They could do that if they could put armed guards in these schools. And I'm going to give you an example of why you need a gun. This video just came out a couple of days ago. This happened outside Detroit. I want you to hear this story.
That's right, Tara, and I had a chance to speak with that homeowner this evening. He says he's lived in that house for the past 20 years and 8 years ago decided to buy a gun. Now he's taken some lessons on how to handle that firearm, and today those lessons were put into action.
I had to do what I had to do to save my life.
Meso Jackson awoke around 4:30 Tuesday morning to a man pounding on his door and yelling. Parts of the encounter captured on his Ring doorbell camera at his home on Salem Street on Detroit's west side.
Talking about somebody owe him some money or something. I say, ain't nobody owe you no money. I don't know what you talking about.
Jackson says he tried to reason with the man from inside his house.
He wouldn't leave, so I dialed 911.
While he waited for police, he said things escalated from there.
He went around the window back there and bust that window out.
Fearing the destruction wouldn't stop, Jackson then armed himself.
Came outside and said, man, you gotta leave. You can't be doing this. You can't be doing this. So you gotta leave. So he had his gun. He had reached for his gun. He pulled his gun out, and I had to defend myself. So I had to shoot him. I did because of that.
Firing 4 shots, they hit the man in the chest, killing him.
It was me or him at that point. I didn't want to hurt nobody, but he just wouldn't quit.
When police did arrive, Jackson says he followed their orders, led away in handcuffs for questioning.
He threatened to kill me.
Knowing he was a lawful gun owner and also aware that police had an investigation to do.
You know, I'm like shocked this guy would leave and he trying to kill me, and so I didn't do nothing to the guy. You know, I'm like, that's a part that was kind of sad.
Hopeful that the law would be on his side once police heard his story.
You can't help but defend yourself. You ain't got no choice but to.
And sharing his story with us, hoping that someone might take away a lesson or two from his encounter.
You gotta be on guard. You gotta be prepared. You can't just let people run you over, hurt you, and don't do nothing about it. You gotta defend yourself.
And Detroit police did confirm they did take away Jackson for questioning and kept him in custody for several hours before releasing him without any charges. But ultimately, it will be up to the prosecutor's office after they review the entire case to decide what, if any, charges may come of all this. Reporting live tonight, Dave Spencer, Fox 2 News.
Well, at this point, it does sound like the Castle Doctrine is on his side. Dave, did the homeowner say whether he recognized the suspect, if he knew the suspect?
Yeah, I did have a chance to ask him that question. He says he did recognize him. He didn't know him. He said he'd seen him in the neighborhood before, was familiar with him, but had no relationship with him. It was obviously unclear from the pounding and the yelling that was going on what exactly this person was after. Obviously, he did what he needed to do, in his opinion, to defend himself.
We'll see what the prosecutor has to say. Dave, thank you.
On Detroit's west side.
Now you see, okay. All right, this is a good picture here.
Wife.
Meso Jackson awoke around 4:30.
Now you see this in the suspect's hand. You guys see him clearly holding a firearm. He's clearly holding what looks like to be, when I saw it from the back, it appears to be a snub nose, but nevertheless, it's a gun in his hand. Now, you think a dog will stop that if he had broken in? He came around the window and tried to break in through the window. He didn't try to kick the door in or anything. He tried to break in the window, and I don't know how Mr. Jackson's home is or set up. Yes, you can have an alarm system present in your home. An alarm system is just what that sounds like. It's just what it's called, an alarm. If something is set and there's a disturbance from an outside force, you will be able to hopefully respond to it within time. However, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. It may ward off an intruder, but depending on how far they get in, if they're able to, I know if they're able to cut through the glass of a window or door, depending on how big it is, they could probably sneak right in without even tripping the alarm system. You pray and wonder when you leave your house and you set your alarm that things will be done, but what happens when you're in the middle of the night? And this gentleman, Mr. Jackson, is at home. That one who cares has gone medieval. She said he should have had a pot of water. Well, I think what happened is, now I'm going to tell you something. I would not have gone, from reading this story, it seems like he went outside after the guy broke the window. Don't ever go outside, even if you have a firearm. Repel the threat while you're in. If you have a situation, someone's breaking in your house. Yes, if you, and let me be clear, I'm an attorney. However, this doesn't constitute legal advice. But what you heard the reporter mention, the Castle Doctrine, that comes from the old saying that a man's home is his castle. And if your castle is molested in any way, violated, where you reasonably believe that there's imminent danger to your life or to your loved ones who are present there, by all means, defend yourself. Eliminate the threat.
Tuesday morning to a man pounding on his door
Now, he
and
clearly
yelling.
has a gun.
Parts of the encounter captured on his Ring doorbell camera at his home on Salem Street on Detroit's west side.
Talking about somebody owe him some money or something. I say, ain't nobody owe you no money. I don't know what you talking about.
Jackson says he tried to reason with the man from inside his house.
He wouldn't leave, so I dialed 911.
While he waited for police, he said things escalated from there.
He went around the window back there and bust that window out.
Fearing the destruction wouldn't stop, Jackson then armed himself.
Came outside and said, man, you gotta leave. You can't be doing this. You gotta leave. So he had his gun. He had reached for his gun. He pulled his gun out, and I had to defend myself. So I had to shoot him. I did because of that.
Firing 4 shots, they hit the man in the chest, killing him.
To me, Yeah, him at that point. I didn't want.
It's me or him at that point. Now, what this is, and I'm pointing this out too. Now, he admitted to going outside the house, and that's the only mistake I would say Mr. Jackson did. Do not go outside your house. He had called the police. Once the guy had gotten in, or you caught him breaking in, by all means, he could have shot the guy right there. But I would not have gone outside for several reasons. Number one, you don't know the most important reason, and this is why you would need an AR-15. You don't know if this person had any accomplices with him. Let's say he was not the only one there. He could have had another individual with him. He could have had probably a buddy running in the car with the gas going, and two other buddies there. Now, you didn't see that obviously in the camera that he was alone, but if he had went to places, let's say, because a door camera, a Ring doorbell camera, which it appears that was, is only going to cover the door. You don't know about the back door. I know maybe they make some people have I know some people have cameras set up around their house in the perimeter, and that might help. I'm just going off of this. It looks like, just from what I saw, based off the preliminary evidence that we have, only one camera was available. Danielle had to step away. We're talking about a Detroit homeowner who shot an intruder. Someone came at his house with a gun, asking for money. The guy essentially told him to stop. I don't have any money. The guy actually broke his window in, and the homeowner, who was also a gun owner, fired and killed him. With him in the chest. That's what you missed, Megan. So, Mr. Jackson, that was the main thing I take away from. You don't, so you don't know exactly who the accomplices are, if he's alone or not. Uh, you also don't know what type of arsenal he has, although yes, he has a firearm in his hand, other weapons on him, and for legal purposes only, even though that's still his property in his home, just stepping out the door, it can change things, because someone being outside the property, it's like walking through the walkway. There's no crime if someone, say for instance, knocks on your door, or if they ring your doorbell. People do it all the time. That's not considered a violation of trespass. If they're walking there, unless there's some type of protective order against that person from coming in, or is part of, you can prove obviously you've ordered that person to leave and they come back. My father has told me stories when I was a kid, when we were staying at our New Orleans home before, how someone came to our front door. I was little. I don't remember this, but someone came to the front door wanting to claim to use the phone about a party next door. My dad calls the neighbor next door about this. Doesn't open the door, but asks, "What about this party going on?" It's just like, "There's no party going on." And he tells him, "There's somebody outside my house wanting to use the phone." And when my father looks through the window, he can see about several individuals standing outside the door, hiding in the brush area that we had in our house. And my dad immediately grabs his shotgun. "You want to use the phone? I got the phone for you." The guys ran and pulled off when they heard that shotgun go on. And we got assholes like Michael Moore. I used to like Michael Moore, but you see how dumb these fucking liberals are. I don't like the Republicans any more than I like the Democrats, but the Democrats the Democrats actually have gotten even worse than the Republicans. You wouldn't think it from when Bush was president years ago, but now you see it, because the stuff they are demanding, when you're talking about repealing the Second Amendment, you're talking about gun control, when we got situations like this where it happened to Mr. Jackson, it shows how out of touch people are with their with reality because they want to appease their feelings. I want to appeal the Second Amendment. We've had enough of this. You know, when you had Joy Behar say that bullshit about when black people get guns, you know, the gun laws in this country will change. Hey, newsflash, Joy, black people always owned guns. Of course, the earliest gun control laws were designed to prevent blacks from owning them. The black codes in the 1800s. If you were a slave, you couldn't be armed with a stick. Even if you used the weapon in self-defense, it was proven the fact that you were black and you used a weapon that you should not have been using under the law guaranteed you death. I don't care how many times they come with these sad sob stories, ladies and gentlemen, how many kid shootings, and I'm sorry to say this because this sounds like I'm being cold. I'm not, but it is what it is. You don't ever relinquish your weapon. Even St. Peter carried a sword. And Jesus didn't, and when you read the Bible, when that situation happened and Jesus said, put down your sword, he was saying that there's going to be another time and place for it. When he says, he who lives by the sword dies by it, he knew that it was his time to go. And had the Father not prepared this hour for me that I deliver you, when they all fell asleep, America needs common sense. Yeah, we need common sense God laws, not gun laws. Exactly, Darius. But it goes to show, I put that article up. Just read what Michael Moore says. These guys are out of touch with reality. And this is a multi-million, Michael Moore, for all the documentary films he's done since the 80s. This is a guy who, and he's out of Michigan, by the way. He's from Flint, Michigan. This is a man who's a multi-millionaire. He has a net worth of $30 million. He can buy all the dogs he wants, but he also can afford some bodyguards too. Guess who can't afford that? Us. If you're not a multi-millionaire, you don't have the ability to hire protection 24/7. The point of this, though, ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad they're coming out with saying this stuff. The point of all of this is to take care of yourself, or else someone else will do it for you. Look out for yourself, because when we have other people trying to look out for you and tell you, yeah, you're going to do this and do that, they're trying to control you. You don't ever want to be controlled. All of this is about control. By body armor, by tourniquets. Our black veterans, our brothers and sisters who served in the armed forces, we ought to take some lessons in marksmanship from them. We need them to train our people so that they know how to use their firearms. Get your concealed carry permit. No, but that's a lame-o. It's cop out to blame the guns. It's control. Yeah, it's about controlling the individual. That doesn't mean they're not going to try, Darius. They're doing it in Canada. They would not repeal the Second Amendment. That's not going to happen anytime soon as of yet. However, when you have a tragic situation, like say, for instance, 9/11, we had the Patriot Act signed, which subjected us to unreasonable searches and seizures. When we had Barack Obama in the White House, the drone ranger, as Judge Joe Brown would call him, he signed the National Defense Authorization Act, which allows the government to seize a person and who they believe to be a terrorist and not help and hold them even past trial, even without trial. You don't have to have trial, no habeas corpus, which means present the body within 72 hours. That's done away with. So don't ever say nothing can ever happen. It may not be as visible as something or blatant, but it doesn't mean that they're not trying, Darius. Yeah, look, you seriously need to get one, Danielle, especially if you have children. Uh, you know, I can recommend firearms to you actually that are cheap and affordable. They're not expensive at all. Some of them, just a 9 millimeter handgun might be about 400, $500. It's not expensive. And you can order them online. You just have to go to what's called the FFL dealer, like go to the Academy. I don't know if they got one out there. But I mean, even the pawn shop sells guns. Yeah, but you seriously need to get some right now, dude. Please get you some steel. Go to a range, read the books on it, get some training. Don't just buy the guns. Go to the range, speak with an instructor at the range so that you're prepared. People that know about it. Read up and watch YouTube videos. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. I had a question for all my family in the chat. Why hasn't Jason Black? I haven't seen Jason Black do a live stream this weekend. Is everything okay with him? He did one. He did one today. I didn't get the notification for it. So he did one on his backup channel. Don't ever say it couldn't happen. Well, they certainly will come for your guns. I've seen the bills. I've seen the bills. Don't ever say never. Okay. So it was on the backup. What did he talk about? Well, we got 40 people in strong. It's good to see some chick named Star DeAndre. So one of the videos was flagged by PubeTube. Okay, the main. Oh, Marcel Dixon came through. All right. All right. So this is the last topic I'm going to talk about now before I get in bed. Before we bounce out of here. Andrew Wyatt, brother who is the spokesperson for Dr. Bill Cosby, has been on the warpath. He has actually gotten, for the first time, a social media page on Instagram, and you all should go there and follow him. But he has been coming out with some stories telling us what's been going on out there in Los Angeles, because Dr. Cosby is being sued civilly by this Judith Huff woman. And he was accused in court this past Friday of making disparaging remarks about the victim, and to the point where the alternate jurors had to be questioned. So Gloria Allred made false accusations against Andrew Wyatt, trying to get him thrown out of the courtroom. Now, Andrew actually has this video of what took place, not of the courtroom, but of apparently when he spoke outside the courtroom, obviously, about what had occurred. And we're going to play some of that right now.
Midday update, 8th day of the Bill Cosby civil trial. We had an amazing expert. Check her out, everybody. This lady was an expert for Harvey Weinstein's trial, Michael Jackson. She's done some of the biggest trials. Dr. Elizabeth Loftus, University of California, Irvine. She did an amazing description on memory and identifying how memory works and how people can be shown pictures and their memories can be distorted. Whether you're an adult and a child, somebody can tell you that something happened time and time over again, and you will believe it happened when it didn't happen. And this has been a remarkable day for Mr. Cosby with our experts. Also, now we have Robin Mizrahi. She's a reporter from National Enquirer, who used to do National Enquirer in 2004. Judith Huff. Hey, social media family. This is the midday update, 8th day. Happy Friday, social media family. And for those who are waiting for the sun to go down, Shabbat Shalom. This is an end of the week cap. This has been a big week for us. As you know, Gloria already tried to get me thrown out of the courtroom. One of the alleged accusers brought 5 of her sons, Lily Bernard, to try and do some intimidating tactic towards me. That did not work. This has been an interesting week. And Judith Huff, the plaintiff's witness, who brought this civil case against Bill Cosby, she was discredited on the witness stand. She did not suppress anything. She had to acknowledge that. The case shouldn't have been thrown out with prejudice, but it didn't happen. But she was discredited, and we know the jurors heard it loud and clearly, and we feel good about it. Robin Mizrahi, check her out. She's a former reporter for the National Enquirer. She tried to write a story about Mr. Cosby in 2005. The Enquirer squashed it. She came here today. She made all journalists look bad, made them look ridiculous. She looked like she was high on drugs. She acted as if she was high on drugs. We called her as a witness. She quoted from Judith Huff that Mr. Cosby had never done anything to her. And she said it in an article that she wrote. However, she tried to say that her quotes was just basically satire or stylistic quotes. That's the only reason why she did the quotes, stylistic quotes. It just shows you the level of hate that exists in this world and the level of corruption that exists in this world. But we got a breaking news win today. Renita Hill, whose case was thrown out in the Third Circuit, who Gloria Allred yesterday tried to get the judge to admit her in as a witness after they rested on yesterday. The judge denied it. As I've always said, family, we can't fight corruption. We have to fight corrupt people. And that's what we've done today. This is a huge week for Mr. Cosby. Next week, we'll follow up and finish up on Monday with testimony from Dr. Julie Brosco. She did the IME, Independent Medical Exam of Judith Huff, on May 31st, Tuesday, May 31st. And then we'll go into closing arguments on Tuesday, and everything will go to the jurors, and hopefully we'll have a verdict. And just keep us in your prayers. Keep supporting us. We can feel it. We can feel all of your support in your prayers, and keep supporting Mr. and Mrs. Cosby. They really thank you and we're really supportive of you. Have a great Friday and Shabbat Shalom again to the family.
So you heard they had Lily Bernard there. They bring these witches. I'm not gonna hold back. This ain't Andrew White saying this. This is me. They bring these witches, because that's what they are. If they're married, they marry their husbands and neuter them and kiss them and turn them into frogs. One of the two. They got a root on them. They get these women to come out of nowhere. Gloria Allred rounds these women up and tried to get this man kicked out of the courtroom because he was reporting the facts how the mainstream media is not reporting it. I see you, Darius. Gloria Allred is an awful evil bitch. I'm not going to mince my words. She's a racist. She has used her platform for years to go after high-profile black men. Let's not forget she went after Chris Brown. She went after Chris Brown, I'll never forget when she went after Tigger. She had some little slut, little wannabe hoe, actually talk about how Tigger tried to make a pass that did something to her, and that ended up not being the case. She also did something with. I'm not holding back, because you all have declared war on black men. Well, I'm throwing it back at you. My torpedoes are locked and loaded. And we're going to open fire. She went after Tiger Woods when Tiger Woods had his trouble with his wife. She went after Mike Tyson back in 2000. Tried to accuse Mike on another rape charge out in Nevada. Tom was the lawyer there. Tom was the lawyer for Mike. And when Mike lawyered up, and it got exposed in the media that never happened. So she quickly had to drop the case. Let's not forget, she even came at Usher. Her and her daughter represented that woman who said Usher had given her herpes or something like that. That wasn't true. They get these women out here to come up and make any type of allegation story against any man with no evidence. And they know, because people are not going to research. And that's the danger. When people do not research and who these women are, when they don't learn and repeat, they're going to keep repeating the same mistakes over and over again. Look at this article from the LA Times. We talk about this in the book. Get that book on pre-order. I hate when this happens. She wanted $100 million in a trust fund ready for victims. She has all of these women. That's Shalana Lasha. That's one of the accusers that testified at Dr. Cosby's trial back in 2018. She said Bill Cosby didn't rape her. You know what she said? She said Bill Cosby humped her leg. This is the woman that and she's a fugitive from the law as well. When she testified, they allowed that woman to testify under oath that she was sexually assaulted by Bill Cosby, not by him raping her or her giving him a hand job, nothing like that, no blow job, nothing like that. He humps her leg. They allowed this to go on and on and on. She runs Ponzi schemes. It's like what Judge Joe said. She met her. She said, you know how Judge talks. I met the bitch. She runs nothing but a goddamn Ponzi scheme where she wants to get money out of these men. But I met the Les. You know, she ain't nothing but a damn lesbian. These damn women, oh, goodness, oh, hell, she ain't nothing. This little lesbian ass heifer. Her and her damn daughter. I'm still congested. But that's how Judge talks. Yeah, I think Johnny Depp's trial. Johnny Depp is a hero to men everywhere. Johnny Depp. That's how I was thinking the same thing. He's a cute dog, but he's not an actual dog. Yeah. Get up off my case. Let me pull my face. Ain't nobody humping around except you. No, I don't believe this crap. Yeah, she's talking about she doesn't even have the money to pay Johnny Depp, and supposedly they caught Amber Turd, excuse me, catching a flight out private jet. Johnny Depp is a hero. He's the first man to win an argument with a woman and get paid. But it's a white woman. That's right. We finally won one, man. Johnny got one for the team. Take that, Amber Turd. I think everybody was frustrated to the point the woman took the shit on the bed. That was what did it for me. Forget the hitting him with the bottles, breaking his damn finger and stuff, amputating his finger. This bitch took a shit on the bed. That's when it all should have just stopped. Oh, you nasty heifer. I wouldn't give it up. So, just a question, man. If it was the last, if we were the last, if Amber Heard was the last woman on Earth, and you were stuck on an island with Amber Heard men, would you save humanity by knocking her up? Or would humanity just have to die? What he's gonna sue him for, Private Brain? He sues him, yeah, he could win, and then unfortunately, the unfortunate thing is they'll file bankruptcy. Don't be surprised if Amber Turd comes up. Just look at that. Ugh. Don't be surprised if she makes a bankruptcy filing in court. Booker says he would do it. Booker, you're a baby. You're such a baby. That's how it's gonna be for 9 months. Goodbye. I guess humanity would have to die. She took a shit on the bed, man. I'd have hit her ass with some newspaper. I'd have rolled it up. Bad girl. Bad girl. You have to put paper down when she come in your house, man. Or have us say outside on the patio. The hell, we ain't bringing no dogs in my house. Johnny Depp technically was simping because he was with another woman for like 14 years before her. He was married twice, I believe. Amber Heard is his second wife, but he had a partner he had a daughter with, or kids with, and yeah. But getting back to Cosby, hold on one second, y'all. Sorry. Yeah, she shit in the. Supposedly, she took a shit in the bed and texted it to Johnny Depp. That's gross. I hit that bitch on the newspaper. I'd take her to the dog. I'd take her to the pound to get put to sleep. Shit. At that point, she got rabies. Let me be clear. I want to clarify. I'm not endorsing domestic violence. I'm just talking about putting down a bad dog. Just. But at any rate, let's talk about this thing with Cosby. So yeah, they tried to get him removed. It didn't work. Um, my main thing, and if I ever talk to Andrew again, I've talked about this before. The only thing I would, if I was Dr. Cosby, I would have gone after the Montgomery County District Attorney, and I would have sued them for, I would go after them over this because as a parent, they knew or should have known that their charge should have been filed, especially if the previous prosecutors made a promise to Cosby, to Dr. Cosby, and to the attorneys, there would be no criminal charge. They should have honored it, and the fact that they didn't do about it, I would think that would be grounds for some type of malicious prosecution. I don't know. I'm sure Dr. Cosby has spoken to his lawyers. I don't know if they have told him that he's trying to get this, but at 85 years old to go through all of this stuff. But you notice the media's not talking about it as much as they started because I think most people just think that the whole thing should be good. Why we're talking about something that happened 40, 50 years ago. They know that they're lying. They know something is wrong. Y'all say I'm muddled. I'm seeing the microphone. It looks like I'm talking loud enough. I don't know what's going on. I'm speaking right in the microphone. Okay. Can you understand me now? Well, like I said, I think Dr. Cosby, he certainly should sue Montgomery. I was saying he should sue the Montgomery DA's office for malicious prosecution. That would be my bet. Though it's hard to win those from time because prosecutors are given immunity, as are judges. They do have judicial and prosecutorial immunity. However, if they break the law some kind, for instance, we're talking about Brady violations. Sounds like I was eating a bowl of golden grams. Well, I was eating something, Darius, but I don't think you want to know what I was eating, especially if it concerns your family. Uh oh, Gavin is getting better. Oh, you don't want to quip with me. I'm just messing with you. Oh, yes, that was a good one. That was a good one. Oh, I leave him shook. That's what's up, Darius. Thank you, though. Yeah, I understand if I was muffled. But what do you all think? Some of y'all say Gloria, you should sue Gloria Allred. Uh Nobody, trust me, nobody really takes, no attorneys really take Gloria Allred seriously. By the way, she's not actually prosecute. Well, I say prosecute. She's not actually trying that case. Her law partner is. That's right. Don't fuck with the big leagues. Uh, her law partner is trying the case, not Dr. Cosby, not Gloria Allred. She is not. I can guarantee you, because all the stuff I've heard about her, she is not a practicing attorney. She's not a motions attorney. She's not a litigating attorney. She does not go in the courtroom and fight. I don't even think she knows procedure. I'm willing to bet I could beat her just on motions practice. I'm willing to bet. I bet the farm. Because whenever you see Gloria Allred, where do you always see her at? You always see her in front of a camera. You know, like here, hold on, she's in front of a podium and she's spouting off her crap. This is what she does all the time. She's in front of a camera. Always here. I'm here. I'm right here. Right here. All of these pictures, it's always in front of a camera. They call her Hollywood's avenging angel. No, she's not an angel. She's Hollywood's avenging angel. She's black America's demon. She's a demon. Because she filed her law firm, because she's a mouthpiece. Her law firm represents the accusers. She's about money. It's about money. It's not about justice. That's the problem with these. She's calling her an ambulance chaser would be nice. That would be an insult to real ambulance chasers. This is a vampire. I didn't know. At any rate, we're gonna keep monitoring this. And Dr. Cosby, if you listen to YouTube, or Andrew, if you're listening to the channel, you're more than welcome you're more than happy to come back on the platform. I should be feeling better this week. But speaking of which, guys, because I'm gonna wrap this up, I want you all right now go to Amazon.com. You order the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby. It is available for pre-order on Kindle right now as we speak. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to pre-order that book right now. It is available on Kindle. See right there, the Kindle $9.99. Please order it. Greatly appreciate it. Y'all hear me now? I want you all. It's available for pre-order now. Go to this book on pre-order. Look at this. Commonwealth Protective Agency. The destruction of this process in the United States. With this book, ladies and gentlemen. So I can't do nothing with this. I can see. Get this on Kindle. Go to honestcreoleblend.com to go ahead and get some Creole music, illustrated film. I don't think it's good. On it. It's great. It's definitely good. Finally, subscribe to @combo.com. We're going to do a release party this book. So I'm in Audible now. Seriously, nobody can hear me. I need you to support this channel, ladies and gentlemen, by going to. So they say the sound is muffled. Go to the Cash App, Google Pay, PayPal, and Zelle, as well as Venmo, ladies and gentlemen. You see the ticker at the bottom to support me, support this channel. Don't know why the sound is muffled. Again, guys, I'm talking right loud. I'm seeing the microphone bounce up and down. Hold on. All right. As I was saying, go to honestcreoleblends.com to get your seasoning. Subscribe to the @Commonwealth Cost page to get updates. We're going to do a release event this week when the book is available for Kindle, fully available. And we want y'all to download it, write your reviews on it. I need you also to go to the show on iTunes, Amazon, download that. And of course, I do so. Yes, YouTube probably does. I don't know why I haven't said anything about, you know what, or about donkey calls. I haven't said nothing about that. I've been quiet. I'll be good for you, YouTube. I'll be good. I'll be good for it. All right, guys. Let me get on to that. Let's go ahead and get on that. But please go to, let's give them something they can do.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat. Because on the dance floor is where we're moving. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on. Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on Earth, Wind, and Fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Now, 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe, then you achieve. And so, if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll feel the groove. Get on the floor. Get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up, baby. Yeah, gotta get on up. Come on, baby, gotta get on up, baby. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.